I'll start this too.
Thanks, Matt.
Welcome to We Wine Whenever. just joking. JK! Wait for him to go upstairs.
Oh boy, we're just.
So we're not doing this yet.
No, we're not doing that yet. Okay. Welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
Okay.
Again, it's been
been
a
janky.
challenge
Yeah.
It's been janky.
getting us going.
It's
But that's
okay.
all right.
It's okay. We're still smiling.
Yep.
I mean,
And listen, it matches up with every other aspect of our lives. So
For
to have
sure.
this portion of it run in any way smooth
This is not going to happen.
would just be, it
It's
would be
just not
too
gonna
weird for
happen.
us.
No, and I'm just glad we have wine.
I'm just
And
glad we have one.
I think what we had said is our motto and our name is We Wine Whenever, and we hope you do too.
Right.
And we
Yes,
do. We
and
hope
we
you
do.
guys join us. Unless you're driving, then don't join us.
Yeah,
But-
no.
We're sober.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
don't join us.
yeah. Then don't join us either.
Wait, quick shout out
Okay.
to our friend Heather. We went to brunch today with Heather and Tara, our good friends, and Heather made one of these candle holders for us out of corks.
Yes.
And we love her and we thank her for that.
Yes. And it's a great idea. It's just corks and hot glue gun,
Mm-hmm.
which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's very on par with our brand.
It's very
Exactly.
brand appropriate.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
brand appropriate.
So what are we talking about today, Laura?
I thought we would, I'm trying to get myself into the spirit of Christmas. I have a cat who is ill.
Oh,
no.
Sneezing.
like a
and-
cold? Like do cats get
Yes.
colds?
Yes, and my
Oh.
daughter had lost her cat and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And so I don't need any,
No.
No, we don't.
nothing going. So I've been dealing with, but the point is, the sick cat has hence turned into, we're not going to get a Christmas tree.
Right.
Because the cat's
Oh.
in this big allergy fit on
Yeah.
medication.
And cats
and
are a pain in the ass with Christmas trees anyway, right?
well, they're usually not bad. They're
I mean,
usually
I
pretty fun.
watch. I don't like cats, but I will watch those videos
Oh, the cat videos?
of cats jumping into Christmas trees
Oh, yeah, it's
all
great.
day long.
Yeah. No. If you, there's certain things you can do to keep them away from the tree. And, you know, my other cat loved the tree. She would just lay under it, just happy as can be.
Aw.
They like the heat from the lights. It's like being outside for them. They're
How
under a
long
tree.
have you had Cheese Fries? Which is the name of her cat,
That's
by the way.
name of my cat.
Has she been here for a Christmas?
No, this would be her first.
That's what I thought. So
Yeah.
you don't know
Right.
how she'll react to a tree.
Right.
So you're
But-
being cautious.
Right. But anyway,
No.
it is now. It is now.
Cautious.
It's so funny. My face was like, and it looked at me. I'm like,
Wait a second.
No,
she
that-
said
she's-
cautious.
I
No.
know. I said cautious.
she said cautioness.
Cautious.
Cautiousness. Yes, that is now a new word, Kelly. Yes, I like it.
Clearly, that'll be in the title of.
Oh,
Yes.
this
cautiousness.
episode.
Oh, absolutely. That's,
And listen,
yeah.
we
Someone's gonna have to
we just
phonetically spell
started.
it for me.
Oh, I'll spell it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it was
Text it
in
to
my
me.
head as if it were a word.
Yes, text
I'll
it to
spell
me.
it.
Text it to me. Yeah. So the point is, I'm trying to get into the Christmas
spirit without the cat. I mean, without the tree. you want the cat.
King can say.
See, everything happened for a reason. We had to get to this place before we could start filming.
Absolutely.
Everything happens for a
Absolutely.
reason.
There you go.
So what I wanted to talk about was, like, what is some stuff that you guys remember? Let's just pick a year. Let's just say 1980. How old was I?
We figured this out. You were 13.
Yeah.
I was 6.
Oh wow.
I was
Okay.
6. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't remember much.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
I don't.
but still,
I don't
you-
remember anything from when I was 6.
No, you still remember.
I
No,
mean,
I don't.
I remember. I remember from a little bit older. Like I remember the first year Cabbage Patch Dolls came out, which I think was '83, and that was like all I wanted.
Right. I remember.
didn't
Cabbage
get
Patch.
one.
I remember Cabbage.
I got
Patch.
one the next year.
Yes.
Okay.
me
But
too.
my mother was not the mom, and I don't blame
Oh,
her.
my
because
mother was not the
I
mom
wouldn't be
either
this
in the
mom
store.
either.
No, no.
My mother was not the mom to go,
barrel lesson at 5 a.m.
no.
That was
and
my
I
mom.
wasn't either.
Really?
That was my mom, and I will get. If I knew we were talking about Cabbage Patch Kids, I
Oh, you
have one.
I have one
I have
too. I
many.
don't know where she is.
I have many, and I know where they're at. Mine that my mother got me, his name is Delmar Gus. But then she got them for my grandmother, and I have my grandmother's ones. They're redheads, of course. Like,
yeah,
we got to keep the redheads.
Of course.
When my grandmother passed, they were like getting rid of them. I was like, no, I mean, we've had them all this time.
No, you don't get rid of them.
So
I wish I knew where. I'm sure it's in the attic somewhere.
So, my mother was that mom and still is that mom.
That's so funny.
And when I say if we had one Cabbage Patch, she had porcelain Cabbage Patch dolls.
Funny story. So the first year my mother couldn't get me one. My grandmother, my mama Lois, they lived in Neptune City, and they belonged to St. Elizabeth's Church in Avon, which is where Eric and I got married. My sister Patty got married there also. She would make dolls for kids, at Christmas time. She would make dolls. So when my mother couldn't get me a Cabbage Patch doll, I guess she asked my grandmother to make me one, and it wasn't quite the same.
I'm sure it wasn't quite the same. I'm sure you were like,
it wasn't quite the same, but
nice,
it was.
but
I'll
it was
tell
very
you what,
sweet.
Tess and I were talking about it today because Tess said that her professor at Brookdale was telling the same story, how she didn't get one the first year and she really, really wanted one and then got it the next year. I said she must be my age, but I was telling the story about the doll to Tess, and we were both like, "Man, I wish I had that doll."
absolutely.
Because how sweet of my mama Lois to make dolls.
Yeah,
for her.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I was trying to think that myself, like, what was that one thing that you wanted?
Really, really wanted.
Really wanted that.
Yeah,
And it's probably something that made a mess.
yeah.
You know, like a Snoopy snow cone machine
Yeah.
or some shit.
Oh, we had one of those.
You know
we
what I
had
mean?
one of
Because stuff
those.
like that, my mom was like, no, I'm not flying with that.
Right.
Like, my mother cooked with us.
Right.
But it was going to be something she needed help with cooking.
Right.
It wasn't.
It wasn't something that you were having fun with.
Well, yeah, you could have fun, but she
Okay.
was
Did you
like,
ever
I'm not.
have,
She
an
wasn't going to
EasyBake
waste.
oven? I never had an EasyBake oven.
Oh, we had an EasyBake oven.
I don't think
did.
I had an EasyBake oven.
You guys didn't have an EasyBake oven?
No. So I was talking to my sister Patty today and my mom at the same time, and I was telling them that we were talking about this on the pod, and Patty was like, "Do you remember the Christmas that all I wanted was a baby feel alive?"
Oh, I remember those
And
that you could feed it and it would shit.
And my mother got her
Baby alive.
my mother got her baby tears a lot or something. My sister was like,
She was bad.
I woke up, I saw the rectangle box, I was so excited, I ran over, I unwrapped it, and it was the wrong doll.
fucking thing. Because you know what? Women are very particular about our shit, man.
So, and I God's honest truth, I'd never heard that story before today. I thought that was
that's
so
funny.
funny. Because when you're little,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
You have this thing in your head. How about color forms?
Oh, yes.
I had color forms.
Yes.
I think one of my favorite, I don't even know if it was a Christmas gift, but one of my favorite things I had was called fashion plates.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember fashion
yeah, I
plates?
had those.
Absolutely.
Actually, I got those for Kayla
You did?
when she was small.
Yeah. I
yeah.
Because I loved them as a kid, and then I found them for her. But you know what? We were always at the flea market.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We always were at the flea market. So Kayla had a lot of cool classic.
Right.
Classic toys,
she
yeah.
had tons of toys because I just buy them so cheap.
Of course.
I take them home and clean them, and then give them to somebody else when we were done.
Yeah.
But she always had like really fun stuff like that. 'Cause
Yeah, for sure.
What do I care? Cost me $2.
Right.
You know.
I remember when Matt was little, he, I want to say he was probably like 4 or 5. He went to Santa and all he wanted was a pickle truck because Matt loves pickles. If anyone knows my son Matt, he loves pickles, he loves olives, but pickles are his thing.
Oh, we got a picture of pickles and olives, don't we? For the
So he loves pickles and he loves olives. So he asked for a pickle truck. So he literally sat in Santa's lap and asked for a pickle truck. I'm like, where am I going to get a pickle truck? So what I wound up doing, and I do have pictures of it, and I will get them for you.
Now, did we have computer?
Yes.
We did. Yeah, we just had it, right?
Yeah.
No, we've had it for a while. Matt's young. He's 16.
young.
So it's 12 years
Because
ago.
my daughter's 24. So
Yeah, no. We had a
You
computer.
weren't buying shit off.
No.
the internet.
We had a computer. So what I did was I made a pickle truck. So I had the big chunky trucks. I forget what they were called.
Hess,
Oh, like
the
the
Hess
Tonka?
trucks?
No,
Oh.
no, they weren't. They were plastic. They were
okay.
like little. I don't know what they were
Little
called.
tykes or something?
Something like that. I'll show. I have the picture.
Yeah.
And I went and I made online the company that made the little pickles that went in the little container. I can't remember the name of it, but they had like logos and stuff. So I printed the logos off online and I put stickers all over the trucks, and then I bought the little they're like the size of applesauce cups, the little individual pickles.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
right,
You know what I'm
right,
talking about?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
little
the
yes,
gherkins.
yes.
Yes, the little mini
That's
gherkins.
the ones we
Yeah.
took the picture of.
Yeah,
we
so
did,
I
the
put the
little
little
mini
mini gherkins in the back of the pickup, in the back of the truck with the stickers on it for the pickle truck. So I made him pickle trucks.
That's very
With
clever.
actual pickles on the
with
truck.
actual pickles in the truck.
Very clever.
Okay, we need to get that fucker down here and tell him, you know what? You know how awesome your mom is?
Yeah.
Really?
She made your pain in the ass
A pickle
Yeah.
truck.
that
pickle
you
truck.
are now.
A pickle
Pickle,
truck.
your
Because
own
that's what he
pickle
wanted.
truck.
My kid wanted a pickle truck, and I was not going to let him down.
Right.
I was like, all right, we're going to see if Santa's Workshop can make it.
Right.
And Lite-Brite. Did you love Lite-Brite?
Yes, I
yes.
love
Poking the
Lite-Brite.
things through the paper.
My
There was
cousins,
something about
Lori
the
and
paper.
Beth, they lived in Tom's River, and that was one of my favorite things. Well, and Barbies. Beth and I could play Barbies like all day.
Yeah.
I didn't like Barbie.
Oh, I loved Barbie.
Oh,
I did not like her. I thought she was this annoying skinny bitch. I didn't like her. I'm sorry, I never
oh,
did.
I
It's
loved
alright.
Barbie.
I liked Barbie.
I loved Barbies, and I passed that on to Tess. So,
yeah, I never did Barbie.
but
Oh,
Lite-Brite
so
was my
good.
favorite thing to do at
Lite-Brite.
Beth's house. With
Right?
I like the chubby Cabbage Patch Dolls.
I like that too.
With the red hair.
With the red hair. I couldn't relate to that skinny bitch Barbie.
Yeah,
With the blonde hair.
but the best
It's hard
part
for women.
was always seeing your family. Like Christmas Eve, we would go up to Chatham because my mom's parents were divorced. My mom's dad lived up there, and my Uncle Joe, my mom's brother, and his 4 sons, who are my cousins. And even though we only saw them a couple of times a year, we were very close.
Well,
when
that's
we were
another
little.
thing. Yeah, when you would see your cousins. That's
So we would
another memory,
barrel
when
up
you'd see your
to
cousins.
Chatham on Christmas Eve. And when I was little, I was in the choir at St. Dom's, and I would have to sing at midnight mass. So we would
Oh.
drive home, and I would sing at midnight mass. When we became teenagers, though, we were such pains in the asses, my sisters and I. We always had to be with our boyfriends, right?
Oh, yeah.
So one year, my father brought his box truck up. My dad did HVAC. So we're all in the back of the truck driving up to Chatham. And
Yeah, like you can't do that anymore. You were like
no.
human trafficking in the back there. If you got pulled
Exactly.
over now,
Exactly.
you're like, whoa.
Can you imagine?
And my grandfather was so sweet. My mom always says this, he would always have a present. He would be like, all right, who's coming? And, he was a custodian at a school, at an elementary school. Like, he didn't have a lot of money, but he would, like, wrap up a calculator
Make
for
sure he
somebody.
had
Like, he had
something.
something for everybody.
That's
It was
so
sweet.
sweet.
But those are good memories, going up to Chatham every Christmas Eve.
I'm
Memories for us. My
Right.
father had to drive.
So here's the one I do.
I'm sure the memories for your father too.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
listen, that's what it's all about,
It
right?
is.
The memories that we
Absolutely.
made.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll never forget one time because my parents were like old hippies, and my father super creatively talented, just really talented guy. But he always did other things like construction or whatever. And one time we always would go and get our own Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
So we go and find one in the woods and we cut it down. And one time my dad came home with this birch tree. Okay, a birch tree has no leaves, bro. Okay? But it's a fucking skeleton. It's a white skeleton he comes home with. And my mom, I remember just so distinctly, I don't know how old it was, but I remember my mom being like, looking at him like, what the fuck do you think I'm going to do with that? Well, let me tell you, we had so much fun with that Christmas tree. My mom took Ivory Snow flake detergent,
Mm-hmm.
whipped it, made it into snow.
Aww.
We, as kids, as a family, we all put that snow on the tree. We put blue lights on it and all our ornaments, and it was absolutely beautiful.
See,
Oh, that's
so he knew what he was
awesome.
doing.
Absolutely beautiful.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But it
That
was
is.
it's just a fun, funky story
Oh, yeah.
of my family.
We always had real trees growing up. And then when Eric and I got married, after we had Tess, I had postpartum depression so bad. And she was born November 13th. I was like, just go get a fake tree. Like, I don't even care.
Right. Yeah.
And
'Cause
then,
at that point,
we've had a pre-lit ever since.
I
We
don't
always
think
had
growing
real.
up we ever had a real tree. I don't ever remember
Oh,
going to
really?
get a tree as a kid. But you know what? I don't have a lot of memories as a kid. And I know that's weird.
I don't have too many either. I have to be honest.
Okay.
yeah, I don't have a ton.
Okay, my father is an engineer, and my mother was pretty much a stay-at-home mom. So my father was always, the Monday to Friday engineer brain kind of guy. He wasn't, he really couldn't fix anything throughout the house. Like, that wasn't his thing.
Right.
So, like, lugging in a tree, like, that wasn't his thing. So
Right.
my mother would do the painting in the house. My mother would do wallpapering. My mother was in charge of the Christmas tree. My mother was in charge of the house. So my mother wasn't going out to get, so
Yeah.
she would get, we always had a fake tree.
Yeah.
I mean, it always looked beautiful. She'd
Of
always have a
course.
theme. For the longest time, her theme was clear crystal ornaments. She had so many crystal
That sounds beautiful.
ornaments on the tree. When Bill saw it, when Bill first met my family, he came and he saw my mother's tree and he's like, I love your mother's tree, because he was used to like all these different colors and all these homemade things.
Right.
And it was all clear ornaments. He's like, that's what we're going to do. And we did do it for a couple of years, but I was like, I don't like it.
Well, what happens is your kids start going to school. Like, my tree literally is all homemade ornaments from my kids.
Oh, when they're in school,
and
yeah.
other things, like things they bought us at the Christmas shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You remember that? I used to love going to the
I
Christmas shop at
love the
school.
Christmas
Do
shop.
kids still have that?
You could make it rain with like $5.
Yeah, you bought some good
Us,
shit.
not now.
Yeah,
Just,
no.
you
No, I
know,
think they
these
do in
bastards
middle
Do
school.
they have
Right?
that?
Do they still do? Or maybe
Elementary
elementary
school.
school.
I
Elementary
used
school.
to
Elementary school.
volunteer
Yeah.
for that every year when Kayla was in elementary school because I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd always bring money with me. And if some kid was like short a buck, I'd go,
Oh,
here
yeah.
you go, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it was great. It was the best.
Yeah, that's what my tree is now, though.
So our tree right now is actually almost everything on the tree, because we have a small tree right now because we're going away,
Yeah.
is stuff that Matt has kind of accumulated. And it's we call it Matt's tree. The ornaments are Matt's ornaments, because the other boys are not interested in it. They think it's dumb. They don't want to participate. And that's fine. Like, that's fine. Matt and I are the ones that do it. So it's, we call it Matt's tree.
Tess and I are typically the ones that decorate. However, there are certain things, like Eric and Joe will be around, but Tess and I pretty much do everything. However, like Eric has like a Cowboys bear ornament. Joe has some basketball ornaments. Like, I call when I'm digging them out, I'm like, here, Joe, get in here, put your basketball up.
Yep, toss a few with them.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But Tess and I primarily do it.
Yeah. The other boys are not interested. They think it's dumb. They think the whole decorating thing is dumb. Whatever. When they have their own families,
They'll get
change
into
their
it.
tune.
They'll get
hopefully,
into it.
but if they don't, they don't. I mean,
Well,
it is
That's
what
your
it
wife's
is.
problem, man.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
That's
not
exactly
my
it.
problem.
Not your problem anymore.
But it was hysterical. I was laughing so hard. I should have taped it, but my husband would kill me. But we had this big argument on the front lawn. And it wasn't an argument. It was like how we've talked about in past sessions.
Right.
How you and
Right. We
been
have it.
married for a long time. You have a
Right.
banter with somebody.
Right. Exactly.
So we got this stupid light up reindeer. And every year, it's the only thing that's in my yard, mind you. I have a wreath on my
By the way, it
front
looks very
window.
nice.
Yes.
Thank you. I have a wreath on my front window. I have some big candy cane thing by my front door. But on my lawn is nothing except for this reindeer. And every year, for years and years now, he stuck that stupid fucking reindeer in the middle of the lawn with nothing else around. He looks stupid.
He needed some friends
So what
or
do
a
you
sleigh or
So
something.
I thought to myself,
Packages, maybe
you know what?
something.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I think-
packages would be nice, but I just thought to myself, you know what? Let me put him closer to the house, in front of the shrub. His head naturally turns one way.
Right.
It'll have the backdrop of the green. You'll be able to
Yes,
see it,
yes.
during the day and at night when it's lit.
Yes.
Well, you would have thought that I suggested that we put that reindeer in the middle of the fucking road. I was like, bruh, he needs to look out this way. I'm like, what? What?
Listen, Jamie had a conversation with him.
And he knew how he felt. It's
I
so
was like,
funny.
Come on. But it was funny. We were laughing hysterically at each other, saying, you know what? I said, fuck you. This reindeer's going to go wherever I tell you to put the fucking reindeer.
Right.
And he's like, fuck you. Go in the house. But we were just...
Right.
Yeah. It was
our
a moment.
banter- It was
a moment.
so funny.
Can we talk about the bruh?
Yeah.
We will go back to old Christmases.
Yes, but we have
But
to
we
so-
had this conversation
Oh, I
today.
can't say Bruh no more.
No,
No. So this is this.
In my opinion, you started bruh.
All right. I'm gonna start it with this. Okay.
I'm sure it was my daughter.
Okay, I'm going to start it with, probably was your daughter now that you just said that. I'm
Right.
going to start it with this. So, Kelly listened to it too. We were listening to the podcast of Two Teas in a Pod. with Tamara and Tom. The two Toms were on it, and they said the word. So the
remember.
Oxford Dictionary, the word of the year in the Oxford Dictionary is Riz. And they're like, do you know what Riz is?
It's too close to jizz for me.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. So what Riz is, it means charisma. Someone has charisma.
Someone who's charismatic.
Right.
Oh.
So you say they have Riz, right?
All right.
So the other day, I was talking to one of my children who will not be named because he does not like to be named. And I had walked in and he asked me something. I was like, it's mid. He goes, don't you ever say that word again.
I did not know what
Mid?
mid meant.
Mid.
It's like
middle of the road, like
Yes, exactly.
Maxim.
That's
Yes.
what it means, right? But
that's their lingo.
that's their word. I'm not allowed to say it. So I just put that.
Well, you know what? They can live somewhere else.
No. I just put that in the file in the back of my head. And then at dinner, a couple nights later, I announced the Oxford word of the year was Riz. And he just kind of rolled his eyes. And I was discussing it with Bill. And he's like, I don't know what that means. And I explained to them what it means. I said, it's kind of like mid. And he was like, would you stop it? I cringe every time you say it. Like, you have to stop saying it. My other son, who also will not be named, kind of laughed and chuckled and had a smirk on his face, but he didn't really give me a vibe. So the next day I asked him, I said, listen, does it bother you he goes, yeah, it's kind of cringy. He goes, I want to just leave the room when you say those words. I said, why? I use it appropriately. I know I use it in the right context. I know. He goes, yeah, but it's our word. I said, how can it be your word?
So one night I was having wine with Tess and Andrew.
Right.
And
she's naming names. I'm not naming names.
And they're
Well,
not
still
21, but anyway.
No, but it's legal in your own home.
Okay, perfect.
It's
Thank
legal
God.
in your
and
own home.
By the way, nobody was driving.
But it's legal. You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were talking
kinda
about
messed up, but
something,
okay.
and I said
Wine
that's
in the home.
Wine in the home. Everybody has wine.
Underage.
Oh, come on now.
Right.
Okay.
So we were talking about something, and I said something was bussin', and
Never
they just
heard
looked
that
at each
either.
other. It means it's really good.
Oh.
And then
Yeah.
later on, I said something was lit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
lit.
And I honestly, because Tess says those words and Joe says those words so often, I don't say them often. I just had,
Right.
had wine and I said it, and they kind of looked at me I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know why I just said that.
Yeah, listen,
But we
there's
were
a
talking about it
there's
today.
a newsflash, though.
And
you
Heather
can use
was
any
like-
fucking word you want.
Of course. Heather was like, is that like bruh? I said, listen, Lori was saying bruh before any of these assholes were saying bruh. And you were.
It's probably my daughter.
It probably was.
It probably
because
was
she's
your daughter.
older and
Right.
yes.
Yes, it definitely probably was your daughter.
And Kayla has a thing. Oops. Carly, cut that one out. She has a thing my daughter has a thing for languages and pronunciations. It's something.
No, that's fine. So she uses that word?
She uses. This is what happens with her.
Because that's slang.
She watches a lot of TikTok and YouTube and whatever, and she'll just keep repeating things. She likes to do that. She likes to learn inflections.
Yeah.
And how people say things.
Right.
She's like an actress. She'll memorize a whole
Right.
monologue and keep
Right.
repeating it.
Right.
So I'm sure that's.
Right.
Since she repeats things constantly, those words stick in my head.
Yeah.
So
No, but I just think it's funny that they think that we can't use those words.
Yeah.
I'm like, if we're using the words and we're using it in the right context,
Mind your business.
no, it really bothers them. It really bothers them. And then now that I know this,
well, see,
I don't know if I should do it more.
I would do it more.
Now I feel like I
wouldn't be
need
able
to
help
do it
myself.
more.
You
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
need to do it more.
Oh, yeah.
Because my reaction that I got was different. You definitely need to use it more.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to help myself. I would make that a full-time
Or it'd be like,
fucking
those pants
job.
are bussin'.
I'd be studying that shit.
I'm going to use busing because I haven't used that
Oh,
one
And
yet.
text some
and
shit.
lit.
Lit. Oh, no,
I mean,
lit.
everybody
Listen.
knows lit.
Text some shit with that and put some fucked up emojis in there.
Well, they're
Oh,
not answering my text messages. But
yeah, but at least
It's
they'll
gonna
look
make
at
it
it and
worse.
annoy them.
So then I asked Matt, because, Matt and I are closer, and, he's our producer. I said, Matt, what? He goes, yeah, no, you shouldn't be using it.
Yeah, no,
He
they
doesn't-
don't think we should be using
They don't
those
think we
words.
should be using the words.
Fuck off. That's what I have to say. Fuck off.
I think it's funny funny.
I think it's hysterical.
I do too. I really do. Like,
And
I
I
mean,
love
listen,
it.
when we were younger, going back to the 80s, if our parents said something was awesome, we'd probably be like, what?
I can't remember that we had our own language that they
I
weren't allowed
still
to say.
I say awesome all the time.
All I know is if my parents said something and I made
You
a
knew
face
better
like
than
that,
yeah.
wouldn't be saying it. So it was a that's what I'm
Backhand.
saying. It was a non-issue. Because no
Yes.
one's I was not gonna tell my mother what
listen,
to wear.
That's a whole other
what to
episode.
say,
the difference between how we were raised and
or
how our
what to
kids
do.
are being raised.
I'm just saying, like, I would never,
Right.
I would never.
All my father had to do was snap a belt, and I knew
Oh,
to get the
yep.
fuck out of there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He didn't use the belt on anyone. That's not what I
Can you
mean.
imagine if we snapped a belt today? Can you imagine?
They'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
You bussin'.
I used to
Why
tell,
are you snapping that belt?
I
Is that
used to-
Gucci?
Yeah, is that Gucci? I used to. This is really bad, but I wasn't a great mom. But I used to.
Yes, you
Kayla
are.
would
Stop
come.
it.
Kayla would. Again, Carly, take it out. My daughter would come home and she would say, have something fresh to say, and say, "Oh yeah, I call Davis." And I used to hand her a permanent magic marker, and I used to say, "You know what? I'll write it on your head backwards so that when you look in the mirror and look at your forehead, it's right there and you can dial the phone number."
That's
Damn,
funny.
That is pretty hardcore.
And could you actually write it on her forehead
It
backwards?
would have taken a long time. It would have been a lot of work.
She would really have had to sit still
I
for
would have had
a
a
while.
stencil going on. Absolutely. Yes.
I can't imagine you actually be able to do that. but
No.
That's all right.
Did you guys? All right, going back to the Christmases. Did you guys have to travel anywhere? Like we had to go to Chatham every Christmas Eve.
So we didn't travel for Christmas Eve. We traveled for Christmas Day.
Okay.
For whatever reason, as Italian as we were, we did not do the 7 fishes. Which brings me to this movie that I just saw on Netflix, and I'm recommending it to everyone. It's called The Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Okay.
The Feast of the Seven Fishes. It's new on Netflix, and it's set in the 80s with an Italian family. It's
that's gonna be
so good. It is so good.
Yeah,
will
I definitely have to watch
You will
that.
definitely resonate with it, with the salted cod and changing the water. My family did not do that, but when I met Bill, and Bill and I have been together 30 plus years, his family, they're not even as Italian as mine, Christmas Eve was their thing.
Yeah.
And they did that. And the salted cod and still to this day, they talk about you didn't do enough water, blah, blah, blah. It goes back and forth. So it was good that when we met, we always spent Christmas Eve with his family and Christmas Day with mine because we didn't do that.
Right.
I don't know why, except for the fact that my mother doesn't eat fish. I don't think my aunts I don't think they ate fish. So they're like, we're not doing this. We're not participating.
So at some point we stopped going to Chatham every year for Christmas Eve, and then my mother took it over. And then my house was like an open house on Christmas Eve. Andy's parents were always there. My ex Dave, he and his mom and his sister were always at my house for Christmas Eve. Mike Palladino would be there when he and Patty started dating, but my mother didn't do 7 fishes, but we had fish.
Yeah.
We always made sure we had fish. Not 7, but there was fish.
So I grew up I'm a clam digger. I'm a beach and woods girl.
Yeah.
I grew up down the shore.
Yeah,
Very
Island Beach, right? Right
very-
near Island Beach.
Very simple family. We didn't have a lot of money. And my husband, when we got together, his family's from North Jersey.
Big to do.
More money, blah, blah, blah. So just to give you a context, I didn't know that when I met my husband and he started talking about 2-family houses, I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah.
Because I had never heard of a 2-family.
Yeah, because there's not that many down there.
There's
never
not
heard
that
of it.
many.
No.
So anyway, we first Christmas, and we go to his sisters or whatever. I don't even think it was first Christmas, but we go to his sisters, and she has all this food, and I open this, like the top off the chafing thing, and there's like snakes in there, and I was like,
Eel! Fried eel!
Right.
and it was in red sauce, and I was just like, oh my god! I said, what the fuck?
It wasn't moving, was it?
What the fuck is
By the way,
that?
eel is in this movie. Just gonna say, eel
Oh,
is in the movie.
I gotta watch the
But
movie.
I'm
gotta
just
watch
saying,
it.
for me, we didn't have stuff. I was just like,
Yeah, like
bro,
what's
what is
going
that?
on?
Yeah, with the bro. Like, what what is that?
Yeah.
It was wild. How about this? Do you wrap your presents?
I do not. Never have.
Absolutely.
You wrap the presents.
Tess gets one wrapping. I mean, from when they were little. I'm gonna tell you something funny. Yes, I wrap Tess's presents in one. Still,
One
in
wrapping. She has
paper,
one.
and Joe gets his own, and Eric gets whatever left
Whatever's
over
left
from
over
the,
from
yeah,
3
yeah.
years ago.
But from the time my kids were little, if there was a big present, and there's always a big present that was always from us, and Eric said, all the other little stuff can be from Santa.
But the big stuff, yeah.
The big stuff's from us. We fucking work hard all year long. These
Right.
kids need to know that the big shit comes from us. And I'm so happy he did that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so
It's a very
smart.
good idea.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Like
it.
Santa's still getting credit.
Right.
And we always went to Manahawkin. We still do. It's a little bit farther than Manahawkin now because now my niece hosts it. But we always went to Manahawkin on Christmas Eve. And there is a tower on the Garden State Parkway. It's probably a cell tower with a red light. And when my kids were little, when we got to that, they always thought it was Santa Claus on the parkway.
I love it.
We
that's
still talk
great.
about
I
it.
love
And
that.
my kids still at their ages, 20 and 16, still love going to Manahawkin or, wherever Jessica lives for Christmas Eve. They love seeing their family. Last year was so nice because now my nieces and nephews are starting to have babies,
Yeah,
and they
nice.
had so much fun playing with the kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
I never wrapped.
You never wrapped. So
My-
it's so funny. A friend of mine. It wasn't until her kids were like 3 or 4 or something, and we started talking, and she said she didn't wrap her presents, and I had never heard of that before in
Me
my
neither
life.
until Wendy. But you have Santa bags.
I have Santa sacks.
Right.
I asked my mother to make Santa sacks because
Right.
when I was growing up, everything was wrapped. My stuff was wrapped. And when I started having kids, I was like, I don't want to wrap all this shit. I
That's
couldn't
a
be
lot.
bothered, right?
Yeah, I never
mean,
heard of it.
so-
Did your friend have Santa bags, or she just laid the
No,
shit out?
everything was just
laid out.
under the tree.
Interesting.
And all of a sudden we had this conversation. I was like, holy shit, like I had never heard of that in my life before. I just foolishly assumed that everyone's shit was wrapped. Like that's what you did.
I still say to Joe from Santa.
You do?
And I started, I'll show you. I started writing Santa's name in one specific way, and I still do it.
And you still write it that way. That's funny.
Absolutely.
I
So
love
what
that.
were you gonna say, Wendy? I'm sorry.
So my mother, I asked her when William was little and Andrew was little, can you make me Santa sacks? Because my mother sews.
Yeah.
So she made me these giant, it's like a giant stocking with the white on top and then the red, right? It's the, the fluffy stuff. And
Yeah.
it's the size of a giant sleeping bag. And then years later, then I had Matt and I needed her to make me another one. And then I brought them and I had them embroidered with their names on them.
Nice.
So they each have one. And I always just put their stuff in their Santa sack.
Yep.
And I remember when
That's
Matt...
actually a great freaking idea.
It is.
Yeah.
It really. Listen.
listen, I have a lot of
Let's
great
not even
ideas.
say it.
Me, you,
All right.
me and you
market
both.
that
All
shit.
right. All
Market
right.
that shit.
All right, there you go. So
Nobody heard that.
Yeah.
when Matthew was a baby, he didn't need anything. So I was like, I gotta put stuff in the Santa sack. I would put diapers in the Santa sack.
I did that.
I used to, when they were little, I would get their toys and I would take half their toys away and put them in the basement, and then I would recycle their toys. Like their toys were just like, they didn't need all this stuff. I would just give it to him again.
Yeah, Joe's first Christmas, he was 6 months old. I did the same thing, just so Tess could see that Santa brought him stuff, but it was diapers.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
but
diapers.
I remember one year, because I used to videotape them. I think it was Andrew. He's like, he's taking something. He goes, this was mine already.
He caught on. He caught
I was like, oh
on.
my God, I love it. Like, yeah, it was yours, Ray, but I had to put something in the Santa sack. It was a big damn Santa sack.
All right, so I got one more question, and then we should probably take a break.
Yeah.
So, did any of your parents ever take you to the city for Christmas to look at the tree or the windows?
Mine did not.
I did not, but we would travel around local areas.
Oh,
One specific
definitely.
house, the Muller's house in Seagirt, they had a long awning, and there were all the reindeer, and it was decorated beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't Muller's Bakery, it was Muller's florist that was in Seagirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents took us once.
Yeah, we
It
never went
wasn't
to
like
the city.
my
I
parents-
never
time
went
or
to the
anything.
city with my,
But once
that's not true.
once we went, I never forget it though, but once we did go and we went and looked at all the windows and we went and looked at the tree. And to me, as a kid, you didn't go a lot of places.
No,
Like
that's-
when we went
that's
there and
beautiful.
then my parents took us to Disney World, we were like fucking woohoo! You know,
Yeah.
we were living
large. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the one time that they took us, but that was fun. But I'm with you, Kelly. We did used to, I mean, look, there were 13 channels.
That's right.
So you had to find stuff to do to entertain your kids. There was no Xbox. There was no
No.
iPad.
There were no phones
There were no
that
phones.
you're
There was
glued
nothing.
to.
Right. So we used to do that too. Our parents would take us out and they would kind of scout out or find out from friends where the
Yeah.
best neighborhoods were that had the
For
awesome
sure.
lights.
Yeah.
And you
sure.
go and load in the car and you go and look at the lights.
And my grandparents lived in Neptune City, so we would drive through. We would take the like 71. We would go a roundabout way, but we would drive through Seagirt, Spring Lake,
Right. And those are
to get
affluent
there.
areas. They
Yeah,
would have,
that
they would
were
have
just
a lot
like
of lights.
overwhelming.
Yeah, a lot of decorations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I do the quote now? Or should I do the quote in this?
I don't know. What do you think? We didn't do the would you rather.
You want to do a couple?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Wait, you got something?
Nah, that's good. I'll do it next time.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Would you rather?
Would you rather encounter dinosaurs or aliens?
Dinosaurs.
I feel like I might want to do dinosaurs too, because
I think
they're
I
just
do
looking to
aliens.
eat.
Well, they're prehistoric. Like they were real. I mean, I don't think aliens are real. You think
Oh,
aliens are real?
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you guys both do.
But I don't know what the fuck they want to do with us.
Okay, you guys.
Dinosaurs just want to eat us. So as long as I can get away from them, I'm
You're
good.
good.
I don't know what aliens want to do.
I
with
feel like
us.
this needs a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, and Craig. And Craig and a panda bear.
This one it's a little gross, but it's so funny. Would you rather clog the toilet at a date's house or at your office?
Oh, my office.
Your office.
Oh, yeah.
I mean-
not for a date.
No, I guess
bro.
you're right.
Definitely not
No.
a date.
No.
No.
I work in a very small office and there's one bathroom and it's right next to my friend Donna's desk.
Oh, poor
It's,
girl.
I know. Wait. Would you rather run around the field naked during a baseball game or stand in front of the White House and moon it?
Moon it.
Moon it.
Moon it, right?
Yeah,
I
definitely
don't
moon
want-
the White House.
People don't need to see all
That's
this
an easy
shit.
one.
Well, you know why it's easy for me? Because you're only having to see my ass quickly. The other thing is like, no. Nobody needs to say that. Nobody needs to see that.
Would you rather give one piece of bad advice to your best friend that could ruin his or her life or say the wrong thing to your boss 50% of the time for a year?
What?
I'd rather say the wrong thing to my boss because
I'm not giving bad advice to anybody.
I know.
I'm
I
not giving
know.
bad advice.
oh, I get bad advice all the time.
Well, you don't intentionally do it though.
No.
I mean, no, that was a bad one.
That was a bad one. I had some funny ones before.
And they left.
Would you rather be strong but look rail thin or be weak but look buff?
I'd rather be strong and look thin.
I
What
think
does
I'd-
strong mean? Like physically strong?
Yeah, physically strong.
Physically strong. Yeah, I would rather be physically strong.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Did you guys used to wear those feather clips in your hair?
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because I got them
Absolutely.
one year for
Oh,
Christmas.
this is a
and
good
I was
one.
like all about
Did you
that.
guys have multiples?
Absolutely.
No, multiples.
Multiples. It was a one-piece thing.
No, it was
with
multiples.
It was multiple. There was a one-piece thing.
with like a
But then
a
there was like
belt.
a band. But the band could be a skirt. It could be a belt.
Oh,
it could be a top.
yeah.
Multiples.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
guys have multiples?
Absolutely. I'm going to look those
I
up and put
fucking
them on.
loved multiples.
Multiples.
I'm going to put them on.
Yes.
I had multiples in every color. I had the whole color.
And
Assortment.
I'll do the feather hair clips too.
Okay, feather hair clips and multiples.
Yeah.
And
These
everybody
aren't
had the
really that
roach
good.
clip with the feather.
Well, yeah, isn't that yeah? Oh, well, I didn't have a roach clip.
No, but people used to have them
Oh,
hanging
yeah,
off
yeah,
their
people
rear
did,
view.
yeah.
Smart. They're
Yeah.
smart. I didn't find
That, but they had
Sorry.
feathers too.
Yeah.
Next
All right.
time.
No, that's good. That's good.
All
So, I'm gonna say thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever.
Mhm.
We may come back. I think when we come back, I'm gonna grab my Cabbage Patch and maybe possibly the pickle truck.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I may
see.
do that.
Well,
I'll
if
see.
not, I'll make
If
a
not,
post
if not,
about
we'll
it.
post pictures.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Thanks
Okay.
for watching
All
and
right.
listening.
Thank you.